Hello, thank you for coming. You good? So we made it. Day 3. Congratulations, everyone. It's been a great plenary. So in case you don't know me, my name's Yolanda Mellico. I'm with the Secretariat. I'm also a project director with RDA US, the United States region. I'm happy to be closing today's session, the closing session. So I know everyone is has their own transportation ready to go home, so we're going to get started right away. I'd like to reintroduce Hillary. She's going to be giving some overviews of the plenary overall. Thanks, Hillary.
Thank you.
It's right here.
Thank you, Yolanda. Oh, there I am. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a few highlights about this wonderful plenary meeting. Oh, I don't know if I'm moving it or he's moving it. Anyway. But first of all, before I give you some, the usual statistics and a few points about it, again, a huge thank you to our organisers, from whom you will hear in a moment, but particularly our sponsors. The German federal and state government, I think they particularly showed their support, and we're very appreciative of that. It's nice to show you who was here and where they came from. So we had 661 participants from 41 countries, which is quite a good, significant number. We're very pleased. With that, of course, there's a large German participation. That's clearly important to us, and this I am really looking forward to when we talk about the next plenary in a continent to which we've never had one before, so when we move on to P12. But let's stay with P11 for a moment. I think just like a few highlights or kind of take-homes from it. So I think that the dedication for me, or at least looking on to our mission and our guiding principles, is stronger than ever. There's an amazing growth in the number of recommendations, and we're starting to see the impact. We saw that in the output session. It's really lovely to see that and the adoption activities, and I hope that we can also, in between plenaries, try and evidence that even more, because I think that's really important, not just to, as somebody nicely put it on Twitter about something else last night, but not just to our funders and things, but also to you, the community, in seeing what the different aspects of and the different impact of RDA can be, and it's really, really hard to capture, but we will, with your help, I hope we will be able to do that. And we have lots of new members, and that's also, the 175 participants from Germany. I actually don't know how many of them are new to RDA. We also will have new members from other regions, but that's really important. And I did have a chance on some networking moments to talk to some new and I don't want to call you old, but if it's okay to use that, old members, and some of the feedback that we got is really good, and the whole community and networking aspects are very, very important. The business session yesterday, for those of you that were there, those of you, by the way, who weren't there, I did promise, and I will, to send out a summary of all the things that we shared with the people in the room, because even those of you who were at the plenary but were not able to attend the closing session, the business session yesterday, but also our other members who unfortunately aren't in a position to come and join us at every single plenary, we'll send out a report to let you know what we're doing from the different bodies and things. This is important for you to know and be updated on. But during that session, we got some wonderful feedback about practical and a little impractical ideas on the value of RDA and what people would see. But they're very important to us, and we will try as we go forward to capture them under the activities that we're doing. So Of course, the plenary is also where we see the seeds for, new groups, and there were a series of BOFs. We will watch with interest and hope that some of those birds of a feathers transform into either working or interest groups, or that some of the discussions in the interest groups here this week will lead and spin off into working groups. So we look forward to that. I'd have lots of other, I think, highlights, but I'm going to leave it there. I think there's lots of innovative ideas. I, as you know, think I'm very, very proud and privileged to be in the position I am at the moment to support this wonderful, wonderful community. And it's so lovely to come to a plenary and to really feel that as well, because you're a bit distanced from it. We're a virtual and a physical organisation, and the physical. So I'm greatly appreciative for those of you who travelled all the way here. I'm also very appreciative of the community members that couldn't come but joined, or that those who are watching from afar. You are important to us, each and every one. And as my last point is, I'd like to hand over to our wonderful local organisers to close out officially, as we usually do, the 11th plenary meeting. Thank you.
I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm speaking as for the team of the local organizers. And we are in Berlin, as you have seen, but the organization was done by the GFZ, the German Research Center for Geosciences, which is in Potsdam, just out of the gates of Berlin. GFZ is the National Lab for Solid Earth Geosciences, so we are really from the geosciences community. We explore everything from space to the core, and we have, of course, a lot of data infrastructures, research infrastructures, so data is always a topic at GFZ, and we are really happy to have had the opportunity of hosting this plenary and of providing that amazing place for discussions and interoperability and networking. The GFZ is a member of the Helmholtz Association, and the Helmholtz Association is one of the institutional members of RDA. And we are also hosting the Helmholtz Open Science Coordination Office. So that's briefly about what we are, because I think not all of you knew that we are like really from the Earth and Space Sciences. I would like, before handing over the torch, hang on, can I have the next slide, please? Here we go. So I will not forget to thank, in the name of my team from GFZ, which is Roland Bertelmann and Anke Lerch, we would like to thank the Berlin Congress Center, especially the team of Frau Walz-Khalife, for all her support, for having us here, for the amazing service, and especially the wonderful food we had. I think every one of us enjoyed it, and I would just say thank you for that. I would also especially like JUX, our geosciences research platform in Berlin and Potsdam, and the National Stop, not yet. And I give a sign, okay? And the Museum of Natural History in Berlin, who for making the dinner under the dinosaur possible, because that was really an amazing place for joining together, and I hope you keep it in mind for many years. I would also like to thank the RDA Council and Secretariat, especially Timea and Stephanie, for all their support in the preparation and organization of the 11th plenary. And now I want to have the next slide, please. Special thanks goes to our amazing team, Britta, Julia, and Tanya, of Culture Partners Berlin, who really have become true partners in organizing. So without them, we wouldn't have done it. So my warmest thanks to all this, to Britta, Julia, and Tanya for all that. And last not least, I would also thank a lot to all our volunteers, and they're mainly students from the University of Applied Sciences in Potsdam and from the Helmholtz Open Science Coordination. And with that, I use the words of an old soccer or football trainer from 1954. After the match is for the match, after plenary 11, I'd like to hand over to P12. And thank you all for coming and for your support.
And they were a great team this time. I was so impressed with all of them, so thank you so much again. So I'm gonna click. So here we go. We end one and we start another. So International Data Week 2018 is coming. It will be, we talked about it the last plenary in Montreal, but it's happening November 5th through the 8th of November, 2018. We are in the planning stages of this. It's going well. I just wanted to reiterate some of the key facts in case there's been some confusion, just to clarify, but the event will be in Gaborone, Botswana. The website is internationaldataweek.org. This event's going to be hosted by the Botswana Open Science and the Open Data Forum. It will be an integrated program, be a little bit different than what happened in Denver, but we're working on the program as we speak, but it'll be definitely a little bit more integrated than what we had in Denver. The registration we're working on, we're expecting it to open probably the next month or so, and give you a little bit more on the theme. The theme of the event will be Digital Frontiers of Global Science. We're going to be focusing on the frontier issues for research in a global and digital age. We're going to be talking about applications, progress, and challenges of data-intensive research, the data infrastructure and enabling practices for international and collaborative research. And we're going to be, of course, talking about data development and innovation. Please change my slide for me. There we go. So here's just another summary of the themes: research and data, data science and data analysis, stewardship, policy and practice of data and research, education, society, ethics, politics, just about everything we'll be covering. We have everyone we have from SciDataCon. We have Simon representing SciDataCon. Hillary's going to be talking a little bit more about RDA. But first, we have Kay Razaroka here, who's the managing partner for Joint Minds Consult, in addition to being a member of our RDA Council, a longtime member, and she's part of our local organizing committee, so she's going to have a little bit to say about RDA and the IDW and SciDataCon. Come on up, Kay.
Good day, RDA community, colleagues and friends. May I greet you in my language so that you have a taste of what it's like. Dumelang, which means greetings. If I wanted to say to all of you, I would say Dumelang Bagaetsu. So that is our formal greeting, which we do all the time. So, as already introduced, I'm a member of the Research Data Alliance Council. I'm from Botswana, the host of the International Data Week in November 2018, which includes the Research Data Alliance Plenary 12. Botswana is a democratic country that invests heavily in the education of its people. It has a vibrant research environment within public and private universities, in government ministries, as well as the private sector. The government of Botswana and the research community want to engage with open data and open science principles by establishing policy and legal frameworks, data management systems, and capacity building programs in order to enhance coordination and benefits derived from all research activities. We invite you, the Research Data Alliance community, to share with us and fellow Africans, fellow African research communities, your experiences in promoting the vision, the RDA vision, researchers and innovators openly sharing data across technologies, disciplines, and countries to address the grand challenges of society, of which we've got plenty of in Africa. We wish to sit at the table with the global research communities, share our contacts engage in discussions within the various research data alliance platforms, such as Birds of a Feather. Further, we wish to participate and influence solutions that emanate from the activities of the interest and working groups. On behalf of the University of Botswana, the host of the IDW 2018, and the local organizing committee, please join us in Botswana as together we contribute to the digital frontiers of global science. At the end of this session, we invite you to view a slice of Botswana life to whet your appetite. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you. Pula. We always greet with Pula, meaning we are a dry country. We need rain. So anytime we want to wish you well, we say, Pula. I know it says something else in Finnish, but this is Tswana.
Can I have the slides? Good morning, everybody. My name is Ina Smith. I'm representing the African Open Science Platform Project. During the past conference, I've once again realized that we cannot function in isolation. Africa needs to be part of this conversation on data sharing and collaboration, and they also want to be part of this project, of this dialogue on data sharing and collaboration. The South African Department of Science and Technology has generously made available funding to try and establish what is currently happening on the continent in terms of data sharing and data-intensive research initiatives. So that's where our role comes in. I'm from the Academy of Science of South Africa, and through this African Open Science Platform Project, we not only try to create awareness on national level, government level, of the importance and the need for sharing data and collaboration, but we also try to establish where is Africa currently, where do we want to go, and how should we get there. Can I have a next slide, please? So this is just a small, a short list of the things that's happening across continents, and it's not limited to disciplines. Next slide, please. Some of the high-profile projects on the continent includes the SKA, Square Kilometre Array project, of which I think 8 countries from the African continent will participate as part of this international project. There's the H3A Bionet Genomics Data project, and then also biodiversity data in which African countries participate. Next slide, please. There's also progress in terms of connecting Africa in terms of the internet. I've seen 1 or 2 very bleak slides during the past conference, and I was thinking, oh gosh, if I have to face another one of those slides, I'm going to die. But here's a more colorful slide for you. The purple areas are the only ones that are not connected to the national research educational networks yet. But this far we have WACREN, ASREN, and UbuntuNet, and more the conversation is towards delivering services, establishing centers for high-performance computing, and many more. Next slide, please. We face challenges, and during the past days, I've seen that the level of the conversations here are different than the ones we experience in Africa. Often countries don't have policies in place. They don't have a policy in terms of intellectual property rights. There's not sufficient commitment from government in terms of funding and investment in R&D. There's also trust and trust issues and lack of awareness. Then we also still struggle and are challenged in terms of power supply, slow and unstable internet, obsolete computer infrastructure, and lack of central data storage. Next slide, please. But we are looking very much forward, working with you all on addressing these challenges, collaborating with you, and we would very much like to invite all of you to come to Botswana, meet the people, learn more about the projects, and find new partnerships and establish new partnerships. On behalf of African Open Science Platform Project, we're looking very much forward to welcoming you all in Botswana in November. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just finding where I was in the slide deck. So the message is that if we pretend, as we do, to be international and global organizations, the Research Data Alliance reaches out to membership of thousands in many tens of countries around the world. CODATA and WDS, the World Data System, also have the ambition to be genuinely global organizations. If we want to fulfill that ambition, we must be genuinely global in our actions. And so we look forward to hosting a plenary as part of International Data Week in Botswana, in Africa, in 6 months' time. And I hope that you've drawn from the previous presentations or the previous words, that there is a conversation to be had. There are important developments, there are important data developments in Africa with which this community can engage and must engage. I wanted to explain a little bit as Yolanda said, the model for International Data Week is to bring together two conferences, two events. The Research Data Alliance Plenary, with which you're very familiar, and SciDataCon, which is a conference organized by CODATA and the World Data System, which are two organizations that relate to the International Science Council. By bringing those two together, we hope to make an event with complementary elements. On the one hand, there's the Research Data Alliance working groups and interest groups, the practical activity, the deliverables, the recommendations. And on the other hand, there's a conference which is a bit more formal, has a rigorous aspect, and is the presentation of research and practice papers. Because we think it's important that this community, as well as our recommendations, as well as our outputs, we also contribute to a research-based debate about the future of data, how we look after data, how we analyze it, and how we integrate it with our science. You've already seen the themes and scope. The themes and scope, I think, that are important to this community, and there's a link there, a rather long one, on the SciDataCon conference management website where you can access those. Please have a look at that. Go to scidatacon.org and then follow the navigation. We've already had a call for sessions for the SciDataCon element of International Data Week, and there are approved sessions listed on the conference management system. Please look at those. Please look at those in detail, and I think you'll see the richness of the conference and the discussions that we will have in Gaborone. The call for abstracts for SciDataCon is currently open. The deadline is the 30th of April. You can submit an abstract to any of the sessions that are listed. So if you see a topic that is of interest, in which you want to contribute information about your activity, some of your research, or that's a conversation that you want to engage with, then please submit towards that session. If you don't find a session that fits with your activity, then you can submit an abstract to the general submissions, and the program committee will divide it up accordingly. And inside the SciDataCon part of International Data Week, we'll have a mix of formal papers, of panels, of lightning talk sessions, and there'll be posters as well. So as I said, the deadline is 30th of April. We hope that format, that combination of activities will appeal to you, and as Yolanda said, it will be far more integrated than it was 2 years or a year and a half ago in Denver. And I think with that, I hand over to Hilary to close the session.
Thank you, Simon. So, as Simon mentioned, for RDA, as you know, we have affiliate organisations. We are affiliated with the World Data System and CoData from ICSU. As Simon mentioned, we had our first sort of collaboration event in Denver, so in 2016. And it was very successful because that's the wonderful thing about this partnership with CoData and WDS and between RDA. There are very common elements, but the combination together, I think, works very well. We did, as Simon said, so we decided to change around a bit the structure of the programme based on feedback that we received from Denver, so it'll be more integrated and teams and things. But from the point of view of RDA, in case you're worried, we'll still preserve the format of our working and interest groups and BOFs, okay? We would see this, as I said, of fostering a partnership with organisations of a common vision, and in fact it's wonderful, and we're very happy to have INA and the African Sciences Academy and the Open Science Platform directly involved, collaborating with us in this particular plenary or event. And of course the University of Botswana, to whom we're truly grateful for the hosting it locally. We obviously, as RDA, would see a wonderful opportunity as well to engage with a community and a region with which we haven't gone physically to have a plenary there before. So, and of course there are many synergies, and it was lovely to see from Ina's presentation the different activities and aspects. So just a little flavour of what really is in store for us in Botswana. I put on the side there the call for sessions timeline for RDA, so just to make it clear, SciDataCon has their one open, and it's very worthwhile to look at the themes and follow Simon's advice for that. The timing for this, you see it on the side, it takes into consideration all the different steps that TAB and the Secretariat will follow in, receiving the applications and the clashing and things like that. So we hope by the beginning of August to have a proper programme of the RDA plenary side of it ready. Okay, so finally, as Kay said, we have by the kind courtesy of the Botswana Tourism Organisation, they have kindly provided us with a lovely video, a short video, to whet your appetite about where you should come on the 5th to the 8th of November this year. So if you could play the video, please.
Come even closer. Listen. Do you hear it? It is not enough to simply extend your ear. You have to open your heart as well. For those of you who have walked on her land and stained your fingertips with her soil, the sound is already in your ears. A rich melody etched into your heart. It is the sound of your country. It is the sound of Botswana. Yes, it is the cry of the fish eagle, majestic and clear, and the roar of the lion, unequaled in regal splendor. But it is also the sound of silence across the Kalahari, where even the sound of time seems to be lost in the wind. It is the trumpet of the elephants by day and the howl of the hyena by night. But oh, it is so much more than this. It is the sound of her beloved people, the music that resonates from thousands of lives, all so diverse, of people, but with a common melody that sings a song of hope and new beginnings. to know my country? We are a rare nation whose beauty beneath the soil can match its beauty above. We have learned how to harness possibility and transform it into prosperity, to build with hope, dream with expectant possibility. Our beautiful country is rich with nature's finest resources, and we sustainably mine the opportunities above and beneath the earth. Though we stand proud, arm in arm with our African brothers and sisters, we also stand out as significant players in the global arenas of business, travel, and lifestyle. Come to our cities and see for yourself. Our modern services and infrastructure boast of our efforts to deliver on every promise made for our future, to reach beyond circumstance and lay the bricks to our bright future. Gaboroni's emerging skyline is built upon the foundation of true democracy, of men who put freedom before personal gain. A storehouse of potential, a scroll of unfolding history, glorious in strength. This is Botswana at its best. But there are other spectacular views. These no man can create. Stand under the night sky of Savuti and allow the night skies to envelop you. Or drink in the rich beauty of the African sun setting over the Chobe River while nature delivers its finest show. Admire the Okavango with its splendid web of waterways. It is undeniable. Botswana, my country, she is beautiful beyond compare. Botswana, our pride, your destination.
So I'm ready to go tomorrow. How about you? I had no idea until I started working with this amazing group of people that it was such a beautiful country. So from Botswana, P12, we are now talking about P13. So we've had a few plenaries in the hopper in just the last month, I think. So it's been an interesting time for the Secretariat overall and our organizers. On behalf of RDA and representing RDA US, I want to introduce our hosts for the next plenary in P13, which will be in the United States. I'd like to introduce Leslie McIntosh Borelli, our Executive Director at RDA US, and Jane Greenberg, who will be joining Leslie. She's from Drexel University. Come on in.
Thank you, Yolanda, and thanks again just for Germany for hosting. Und Kirsten, vielen Dank für den herzlichen Empfang in dieser Woche in Berlin. Ja, es war echt toll. Also, thank you. We are looking so forward to also going to Botswana, and I promise you, Kay, that I will understand and learn how to say hello. But I am afraid if I say it now, I will offend both the Botswanan and the Finnish community, so I will not do that. But we are looking forward to building these bridges that we are these social and technical bridges focused on data in Botswana in November, and then happily bringing it back to the RDA, again to our region of North America in March or April of 2019.
So, hi everyone. I'm Jane Greenberg. I'm a professor at Drexel University's College of Computing and Informatics in the lovely city of Philadelphia. I've been involved in RDA before it was actually called RDA. So, like Leslie, I look really forward to P12 and seeing hopefully a lot of people there in Botswana. And after that, I will join RDA and welcome you to Philadelphia along with Drexel University and Drexel University's Metadata Research Center. I don't know if any of you have been to Philadelphia. I am curious to see a raise of hands. How many people here have been to Philadelphia? All right, good. So for those of you who know, Philadelphia is known as the city of brotherly, but I am adding sisterly love. It's also the home of the Philadelphia cheesesteak, so if you haven't had one, you will have one when you're there. If you're over 40, you've probably seen some of the Rocky movies, and maybe we can have that theme song next time with our little video. On a more serious note, Philadelphia is the home of American democracy, and there's a lot to see in terms of historic sites. And it is also the home of the Academy of Natural Sciences, which was the first science museum in the United States. And that museum is actually part of Drexel University. So I'm sure we'll get there somehow. So I welcome you to Philadelphia, but first Botswana, then Philadelphia. And I look forward to working with everyone. So.
All right, thank you.
So that's it. We're done. Thank you for everyone. Have safe travels. We thank you so much for joining us this past week. It's been an amazing experience. So Hillary usually does this, but she's asked me to do it. I officially close this plenary. So thanks, everyone.